High noon, baby, and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. My name's Mitch Nellis. Tommy Wirtz is here, and Mason, of course, is here. What up, Mace?
What's up? We're just getting, ready for snowpocalypse this weekend. So gearing up, getting supplies, getting everything ready to roll. I fixed my furnace this morning because it was there was a little leak. We had some water coming out, and I had to get the pipes all, one of the I found it. It was like in a weird spot. One of the pipes had come loose, disconnected. I had to get all that water out of there. Like, oh god, what a nightmare! But dude, I'm glad I found it before it gets really cold over the weekend.
Well, if you need any help, if you don't know, I came from Ace Hardware before I got in the sports industry.
Oh, so, is that man? Yeah. We're having you work, dude. You're like 25 years old, and you've worked more jobs than anyone in the history of the world.
Is that a positive or negative?
I get bored.
Well, you're just
easily.
experienced. He's experienced for a 25-year-old.
I worked at Ace Hardware longer than any other job I ever worked in my life. I was there for 5 years, I think.
Wow,
on and off. Yeah, from all throughout college, at least for sure. So I think 4 years. Four years.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
now I can walk into a Home Depot and not look like an idiot. That's pretty much what Ace Hardware.
That was the goal
for me.
That was the goal for you.
I know where I'm walking in a Lowe's and a Menards.
Yeah, I love it.
I got some furnace issues going on. We'll talk about that at some point. We've got a national champion. They are the Mark Cuban Hoosiers, or the Indiana Cubans. No, that doesn't sound right. Mark Cuban's Indiana Hoosiers.
Okay.
There we go. Are the national champions. We do not have a defensive coordinator in Green Bay because the Miami Dolphins have a new head coach. And Camille Davis is going to join the show and talk some Bucks. Bucks held on yesterday. If you were following along, they were up by 23. The Hawks got a lead in the last couple of minutes, and then it went back and forth, trading threes. The Bucks escaped with a 2-point win. Mason, what do you want to start with today?
Well, we got to talk about Hafley. I got to talk about what's going on there. Does it feel like the Green Bay Packers are moving at a snail's pace with all of this?
Yep.
Why are they so hesitant to just jump into this hunt for that next DC? What are they doing at other positions? Are they just going to stay status quo? Are they just going to kind of go along with what they've been doing, or are they going to jump into this? You don't get involved in the rat race. I get some of the ways they do things, but go and get the people that you want to run down a championship here. I have some names that I would love to see in that DC role. And then I have some reasons for that. So I'd love to hear too what the two of you think, and anyone listening, who do you think should fill that role?
And before we get there, mates, I think the bigger issue, talking about that snail's pace, is what's happening with special teams, what's happening with the offensive staff. Defensive coordinator, yes, they knew Hafley was interviewing, and so they knew this was happening, but he just took the job yesterday. So I feel like they get some grace with the defensive coordinator situation, but with the rest of the coaching staff, is this where we are? Is everybody just coming back? Are we just going at it again next year?
It feels like it. I'm like, what? Are they going to replace somebody at this moment? We're in week 2 after a loss. Every other team has fired their coaches. Kansas City just hired Eric Bieniemy to come back to offensive coordinator, which would have been a great get. That's a guy that you could have gone after. The Chargers fired their guys right away. Everybody's moving a little bit faster. It's did you not know? Again, LaFleur had another year on his contract. All these things. It's this offense wasn't what it needed to be. I think they need to make a decision and make a change. Whether that even be, I don't know if it's all right, Steno, you go and you coach the offensive line.
Right, go back to
and
line.
I'm going to get an offensive coordinator that is going to push and test all of the things that I'm trying to do and make us better. That'd be a good solution.
Even if the decision was, we're going to run it run back, right? I mean, we're going to run it back. If they're going to run it back with LaFleur, and the argument is to control some of the national media chaos that will surround it, bringing back, and we talked about it yesterday, you're with your assistant coaches more than anyone else when you are in the building. Like, give some clarity to the players at this point too on if you're going to be moving on and if you're going to have new input for who you would like to bring in these roles. The Packers are always quiet about this. Did it feel quiet as a player ever, Mason, when it was you knew something was going to happen? But how much do they keep the players in the loop in the locker room on when decisions are being made like that?
No, I mean, it's literally we heard everything the same as everyone else. It was whenever it was released out into the media. So it wasn't like they were going to communicate and be like, hey, we're going to make this move
right
for the best, for our organization, for the players and all these things. And again, I love Steno and I love
sure.
But you've drafted a lot of offensive linemen. You've made some moves there. You've kind of seemingly established what you want this offensive line to look like, and they didn't get it done. In my mind, that is like, okay, you just don't have the right person coaching this group of men. That's just kind of, if I were looking at it very analytically from not even a fan or a connection to this team, I'd be like, all right, you have these guys in place. You've spent a lot of draft capital. You've spent a lot of money on guys. They didn't do their job. We have to make a change.
Now, so Steno obviously did a good job when he was the offensive line coach. And you could argue that
exactly he's a great offensive line coach.
That Luke Butkus has not done a good job.
Yeah.
Whether he was forced into that situation by Goody and LaFleur, specifically moving Elton Jenkins to center, not knowing what to do with Jordan Morgan. They didn't figure out Belton. They kind of ruined Rasheed Walker by the end of things.
Yeah. Yep.
Whether that falls on Butkus at some point, again, if you're not going to make change for change's sake, and Goody's staying and LaFleur staying, like you make some changes, like you make some tweaks here and there, because clearly the offensive line was a failure this year, right?
It's definitely time that something has to shift. And honestly, I hadn't really thought of that movement, but Steno going to, like, if it's like you want to keep guys in the building and some cohesiveness, you say, hey, Steno, like you won't be our offensive coordinator anymore. We are going to get a new offensive coordinator. Want you to stick around. You can kick the tires on other jobs, but we would love if you were still our offensive line coach. Like something like that. It's just like, yes, it's a demotion, but you don't have to move your family. You keep a job. You're still working. You don't have to go and try to find something somewhere else. I think that's a clear-cut way to keep some cohesiveness, but also find a way to, make a change in a sense, because whoever's making those decisions in that room or getting those guys ready week in, week out is not doing it. So you put that on Butkus, you put that a little on Steno because he's involved in that space a lot. But I think if he can just focus on those offensive linemen, he would be a great choice. Like, because if not, you're going to get an outside person and they're going to have to relearn the whole thing anyways. So
yeah, it is the Mason Crosby Show. We are presented by Verizon, official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Let's head out to the Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250 if you want to be a part of the program. Ron is in Rome. Ron, good afternoon. You're on the Mason Crosby Show, boss.
Yeah, hi, thank you. I was listening to another commentator and he was saying, oh, the Packers won't ask Jim Leonard because he turned them down. You know who turned the Packers down the first time they asked him to work for him? Ron Wolf.
Yeah. All right.
He was working for the Jets, and Bob Harlan asked him to work for him, and he said he wanted total autonomy, and they said he couldn't do that. He had a board, executive board. He said, well, I'm not going to work for you then. And then they decided to give it to him and give him total autonomy, and that worked out pretty good.
Yeah, Ron, thanks for the call, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Well, and he brought up Jim Leonard there, and I know we're going to get into some people that we like for this position to replace Jeff Hafley. Jim Leonard, I think that that would be the most, like, 100% approval rating from the fan base right now. I couldn't imagine anyone being upset if Jim Leonard was the guy. It feels like he's on the short list of the candidates that Green Bay would potentially interview. They have already. Were you there when they had thought about it, or they offered him there the first time, Mason?
Was that? I think that was when I left.
Right?
Yeah,
maybe it was the same year.
I think it was right after, because Barry came in 22, right?
Yeah.
So it was that year. Yeah, it was my last year there. Again, he thought he was going to be, a Wisconsin Badger. He thought he was going to be in front of that line for the head coach job there with the Badgers. So I would be curious to see if he would, put ego aside, do all that, come back to the state of Wisconsin, because of some of that stuff with the Badgers and him not getting that head coaching job.
Well, and on top
there could
of
be
it,
some issues there just personally for him.
I mean, it's not that he had a chance at the Badger job, Mason. He had it locked up.
Yeah.
All he had to do was not totally crumble at the end of the year, and he would have been the next head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers. Right. I mean, he blew that opportunity more so than it was, oh, we should go out and seriously consider an outside candidate like a Luke Fickell at the time. It was because they lost all faith in Jim Leonhard after he totally washed it away with Paul Chryst at the end of it.
Well, and there's also the question, was he was going to get an interview to be the defensive coordinator with the Packers.
Right.
And so
it was just timing. I don't think there's any issue with the Packers or any of those things.
That was the
I think it was
in the
just
article.
timing.
Yeah. Is that would LaFleur not want him back because I was going to give you this chance and you said no.
I don't think you're not going to look at it that way because they understand timing. I'm sure in that conversation he was like, this would be a dream job.
Yeah.
Because he's a defensive coordinator now, or is he a pass game coordinator, or what is?
Yeah, he's a pass game coordinator in Denver. Yep,
in Denver. Yeah, exactly. So he took an NFL job. It's not like he was like, oh gosh, I don't want to coach, for the Packers or do this. It was just the timing of the situation. So I could see him kicking the tires there. A guy that here's my front runner that I would love to see is Al Harris.
Okay.
I think Al Harris is a perfect fit for what was missing in Green Bay. A guy that has been in that building, knows the organization, knows what it takes to win. And then what he did with the Chicago Bears in the turnover department and the takeaway department. Pass game coordinator down there. What was missing on this Packers team this year? Pressure was there, all the stuff. They were flying around. They did not take the ball away. So you need somebody in that space that is just going to put an emphasis on getting that ball and turning it over to your offense. And I think Al Harris has kind of climbed this ladder and is a guy that I wish so badly. Stinovich played in Green Bay, he had that. But I would love to see more former guys that know what it is to play in Green Bay, be a part of that, have that kind of that history and that culture that has come before you. I want to see more of those guys in that space up there in Green Bay.
And I bring up this point here too, and it's a little late maybe to it. I don't know if I'm really that upset Jeff Hafley is gone. And I know what he did to turn around the Green Bay Packers a little bit on the defensive side, and everyone was just ready for Joe Barry to be gone. And before that, Mike Pettin didn't really excite anyone either. But ultimately, the biggest Trump stat I see is just he didn't win a game without Micah Parsons this year. And Micah Parsons didn't play a decent amount of games. And I think that's an indictment on his game.
It is, but I also wonder, what's the difference between 24 Hafley and 25 Hafley? Because 24 Hafley was so clearly better than 25 Hafley. It seemed, and I don't know if it was just a breath of fresh air after Joe Barry's embarrassingly horribleness.
Right.
Or if Jeff Hafley's really good. And I don't know, we talked about how.
But Jeff Hafley just got a head coaching job and he had a worse coaching season this year than Barry did his last year.
How much did Boston College?
So I'm I don't love that narrative necessarily.
Right.
I'm wondering how much his previous college coaching experience had a role in this.
He's been a head coach in
Boston at Boston College.
But there have been those whenever people dive deep, they're like, was he a great head coach at Boston College? No. Is he a great defensive coach? He has maximized his rise here.
Yes.
And it's he had to take advantage of this.
Well, and then
it's if he stays one more year and stinks as a D coordinator,
then it's done.
It's done. He would have never gotten an opportunity.
And don't forget, Tennessee Titans just did a very similar thing too during this. Robert Saleh getting a job. Does Matt LaFleur get to claim Bob Saleh on his coaching tree?
I don't.
Okay, all right. I was just wondering. But Robert Saleh he was
complementary branches.
Great defensive coordinator always, with the second stint with the 49ers now, and he's getting a head coaching gig after a pretty terrible tenure as a New York Jets head coach, and now he's going to be at the Tennessee Titans, who obviously need a leader of men in that room, and they fired their coach and no one even remembered in the beginning of the year. So like he's got to add some relevancy, and I think that Miami is looking for the same thing. Getting a guy with previous head coaching experience is going to prove to be very valuable in this hiring circle, as it usually is, but even more so right now.
Yeah, I think the Saleh here to the Titans, you said the name, New York Jets. I mean, that's just where everybody goes to, not have success. So, true. I mean, the fact that he was the head coach of the New York Jets doesn't really, I don't think that stains the type of coach he was. It's just like, you were the coach of the Jets. That stinks. So he goes back to 49ers, kind of takes that pause, and now he's going to be here in Tennessee, and I think he's going to be a great fit for like kind of what this rebuild and what they're looking to do, right? It's like try to bring this thing back to like tough running football, playing good defense, doing what Tennessee Titans have done and have been in the past. So I think that's a good hire. I'm interested in the Hafley. I know he interviews well. I know, obviously, hearing him talk, he says all the right things. He's charismatic. Like, he does have the locker room, and the defensive guys seem to love him. So now it's just, can he put it all together, right? It's such a different animal once you're the head coach. Can you put all those pieces together? And it's Miami. I don't know. Like, right. That place seems hard. It seems tricky to go and be a successful head coach down there. So we'll see if he can do it.
Better than New York, but how much better, we don't know. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law talking text line. 414-677-1250. Nate in North Milwaukee writes in, I don't know who I want, but I know I don't want to promote from within. Promoting within is more complacency, and we already have enough of that. Do you think promoting from within shows complacency, Mason?
I think they have to get somebody from the outside. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you brought Hafley in, there was a spark, all that. Like they do it different up in Green Bay. Like they will block some coaches, like where it's like, hey, you got to keep this guy on the staff and different things like that. But yeah, I think they need to bring somebody from the outside. I could see him again. You bring Al Harris, you might get a Nick Collins along with him. You might get, some Nick Collins is he's coaching ball at the college level. Like the guys, he knows what he's doing. He'd be another awesome fit. Like where it's like you get Al Harris as the D coordinator, you get Nick Collins as your DB coach coming in, like these fresh, like Packer people that will bring this thing back to what it was whenever those, like, we were dominant, right? And it was playing a different brand of football. It was fast, physical, all the things. So I have, for me, that's something I see and that I hope for, but we'll see if, we'll see that. I think they're hesitant to do that because then this is, the Packers of old or whatever. I don't think they want a lot of former players in that building because they don't want to take over. Like they don't want to go back into time. They just want to do what they're doing now. And it goes to control and trust, right? It's like,
do they get in their own way sometimes when they do that, Mason?
Oh, I think so. Like, why would you not lean on the legacy of what it means to come through there and hold that to a high standard, not because, what's happened before, we can go into any stadium and win, people are going to lay down for us. No, it's a responsibility to carry this forward in the right way because of all the stuff that's come before you, because of the history of this program. You need to feel that and you need to honor that and you need to go out and get it done. So I think I would love to see a former player in some of those prominent roles at some point here in Green Bay.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talking text line. Al is in Cedarburg. Al, you're next up on the Mason Crosby Show.
Gentlemen, how you living today?
What's up? We're doing good.
Mason's getting ready for some weather.
Oh, that Mason, I love it. Me too. I'm heading to Florida in a couple of weeks, so I can't wait to get out of this.
There you go. Nice. That'll be nice.
It's going to be beautiful. So I love the Al Harris choice. I think that'd be a great fit, and I agree with the legacy. And if he was able to bring along Nick Collins, I think that'd be sensational. Now, I'm going to let you guys be my therapist so I can ruminate here for a second. If Nick Collins never gets hurt, I 1,000% believe that the Packers win another Super Bowl. With
I could see that. I could see that.
Without a doubt. So, but who I actually think would be a dark horse candidate, and I haven't heard this name brought up much, but I really, really like Durante Jones. He's the secondary coach for the Vikings. And if you look at that secondary and the way that they played, they're nasty. And he's coming from that Brian Flores cloth. He's been with him for a few years. I think that he deserves his shot, and I think a shot in Green Bay would be sensational.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I love new names thrown into the mix.
Former D coordinator at LSU as well. Thanks for the
Okay,
call
so
out.
he's been a coordinator. That's good.
He's been a coordinator.
Another Al Harris little nugget that I'm going to keep promoting is he was with Micah Parsons in Dallas.
Right. Yeah, and he was the D-backs coach.
And
I didn't realize he was an assistant.
We keep Trayvon Diggs,
Yeah, I didn't realize he was an assistant head coach there for one of the seasons. Like he after Diggs had his great year and their other rookie had a great year, he was promoted to assistant head coach for a year.
Yeah. That's where I'm headed. I'm going.
Nice.
I'm leaning in on the Al Harris line.
Well, we're going to keep this conversation going about Jeff Hafley and about names that could replace him, names that excite you, names that you don't want on that list as well, because I think we could fill up that list too. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nelson, a.k.a. Thunder. Jeff in Superior, everybody else, hold on. We will get to you when we come back right here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. Hey, it's the Mason Crosby Show right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. We are statewide throughout the state of Wisconsin and growing. So make sure you tell all your friends from noon to 2 where they need to be. They need to be locked and loaded into the Mason Crosby Show. Just got to take a deep breath. It's cold out. This morning, Mason, 7th grade at my kid's school had like a car, like they examined our cars awesome. And did like oil. They didn't do oil changes, but they checked the oil. They checked the tires. It feels like -7 out.
Man,
so we all emailed the teacher yesterday.
So
we're like,
practical though,
right? It's super practical. It's great, but we all emailed the teacher yesterday like, should we postpone this? And she's like, nope, we do it no matter what. And she is like the snarky teacher. So we all kind of like her. Like she's like the sarcastic one. But man, it was cold out.
I don't miss that part of the cold stuff. Like we're expecting, if we get any snow here over the weekend, like we might be out of school for 3 days plus, we might miss a whole week. Like it's inevitable. We're prepping for that. I saw it's going to be -5 for the high there in Milwaukee on Friday.
Friday's going to be the worst day of the year.
Oh man.
And Monday was already the worst day of the year.
I miss so much about being in Green Bay and living there, but those days are not the days.
Friday is Mommy Tommy's birthday. Just so aware. So worst day of the year, maybe let's slow down just a little bit.
Are you going to be in McWanago or are you going to be in
and then my dad's birthday is on Saturday.
Wait, your parents' birthdays are one
Why'd
day
you
apart?
just skip over my question, Tommy?
Yeah, my mom, my dad, and my all right, move on. Get to this phone call.
Let's go.
Little Rumble's birthday 1 week away. And a big birthday 2 weeks away.
It's birthday week.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys know that. This is the Mason Crosby Show. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Let's go out to Jeff in Superior. Jeff, you're on the Mason Crosby Show.
Well, good afternoon, guys. Yeah, we get you up here on 710 WDSM and out of Duluth.
Love 710. I got to get up there and visit. I got to get up there and visit. How long is the drive from Milwaukee, Jeff?
Well, my sister went to Marquette, and it took her, 8 hours, depending on which way you go.
Jeez.
Okay. All right.
It's a trek.
So it sounds like you don't come for one day. You go for a few days. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome to come up here and go ice fishing. I got to tell you,
so much fun.
It's an honor to talk to you, Mason. In high school, I kicked the winning kick against our crosstown rivals, and we won the football game. I was a kicker on our high school football team.
Well,
good work.
Yeah, we had 3,000 people in the stadium, and the whole team jumped on top of me, and it was just I was so glad to split the uprights. That was awesome.
Jeff, hey, that's always the dream, but you have to be prepared for what comes with success as a kicker. Those guys, they take every opportunity. You feel like they're celebrating, but it's very physical, and you're like, man, like y'all seem happy, but you're hitting me a lot. Like this isn't what I signed up for.
We were in the huddle, and the guy snapping the ball said, "Jeff, if you miss this kick, you're dead."
Oh gosh, I love that. That's so good.
I used to say that to Crosby when I was 12 at the TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Too. Yeah, same thing.
He'd have his little doll that he was like ready to poke. His little voodoo doll. All right, what you got for us?
Well, I used to practice kicking over the wires in our street in South Superior, and I'd take the snow and I'd prop up the ball and I'd kick it over the wire, knowing that I could get the lift I needed over the line. But I invite you to consider Josh Bell. Last year, he was the defensive coordinator for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He's had some success. They won the Grey Cup. I mentioned it to John Kuhn this morning. I think he'd be a good person to interview. I invite you to look at his resume and think about Josh Bell.
Okay.
Awesome. All right.
Here's my thought real quick. Yeah, because
thanks for the call, John.
They'd never be able to stop anyone inside the 10-yard line. He would just think they scored a touchdown.
Nice.
He did. All right. Do you want me to real quick? He did play D-back for 9 years in the NFL. He played for the Chargers, Broncos.
Nice.
He played for the Packers. Mason, do you remember him?
Josh Bell.
November 23rd, 2009, when Al Harris had a season-ending injury. Josh Bell was
said
signed.
The name again, Al Harris.
Yeah.
I mean,
Josh Bell was signed for the rest of the year, and then he was placed on injured reserve in August of the next year. Never played in the NFL again, went up to British Columbia and to Calgary.
I remember. I do remember his name now. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. 2009.
Isn't that crazy?
Mark Trestman ruined Canadian football coming to NFL football. Like, Mark Trestman was the guy in Canada, and then everyone in Chicago couldn't stand the guy at the end of it.
I will say, though, like, Josh Bell isn't like Canadian football, right? Like he's an American football player. Like, he played in the NFL. Like, I can see that.
He went to Skyline High School in Dallas. I don't know if you know Skyline or not.
I do know Skyline.
He went to
really
Baylor.
Good football program.
He went to Baylor.
Yep.
So
I played against Josh in college too. Then.
Yeah, he was. He's 41. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I played against him in college. Yeah. I remember. I actually that sticks out even more so than his stint there in Green Bay. Like, but yeah, playing against him in college. Right. I remember the name now.
That's somebody to watch out for. I like it. I don't hate the outside the box thought.
I don't either. I'm still Al Harris though. Nick Collins. Yeah. Nick Collins is Bethune-Cookman. He is at his alma mater coaching like DBs.
Yep.
Like, bring them in. Let's go. Let's roll with the former players. Al Harris is. He is. It's not like I'm just. That's not just a name. Like, he's built. He's moved up this ladder.
Yeah.
He's pass game coordinator there at Chicago, where they had takeaways galore.
Yes, they did.
Like, I think he's. If you go and you get a DB coach or a pass game coordinator from some other team and it's not Al Harris, I will be openly upset about that.
Even if it's Jim Leonard.
I get Jim, right? I guess I'll give Jim Leonard the pass. Anyone else, I will be furious.
All right. Yeah. I do wonder. No, I don't wonder. I would be surprised if Al Harris doesn't get some DC interviews this year.
You think he would?
Like, you would think, based on what he did in Dallas, based on the amount of turnovers the Bears caused this year.
Yeah.
Like it seems like that's the natural progression for him. And
people will bring it. They're going to have to request to bring him in and say, like, hey,
sure.
Like, we at least want to see where he's at, in that progression. Can he be a guy that can lead, the defense? Because that is another jump. It's another step. But again, like you said, in Dallas, he was assistant head coach for a year, which again, Coach McCarthy does a great job of trying to build his guys up to take on bigger roles eventually. So I think I would be pretty, again, I'd be a little bummed if they went anywhere but like Jim Leonard with a pass game coordinator or something like that. And you don't kick the tires on a former player like Al Harris, who is kind of seemingly going to be that next candidate for the defensive coordinator positions.
I think that's fair. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law talking text line. CB is in downtown Milwaukee. CB, you're on the Mason Crosby Show.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up,
CB?
The one name that I kind of keep hearing on some of these podcast shows, and I know y'all probably ain't going to agree with it because I don't, is Eberflus.
Oh,
no.
I'm glad you prefaced that with you don't agree with it, because I would have been no Eberflus ever in Green Bay.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about right now. I guess his name is kind of heating up a little bit, I guess.
No.
So I don't know.
But that's part of what we're doing here, CB, right, Mason? Is we're also naming names we don't want. It's not
exactly.
It's not just guys we want to get an interview. It's guys like Eberflus is on that list, like hard pass, right?
He was horrible with Chicago, and then he goes to Dallas, and they have the worst defense in the history of NFL football. Like, no, thank you.
I hope they don't get him, but you never know what Matt can be thinking. So
that's his
you
buddy.
Never know.
Who do you like, CB? Who would you like to see there at that defensive coordinator position?
Jim Schwartz all day, hands down.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, Jim Schwartz. He's done some good things in this league.
Yeah. All
right. CB, thanks for the call. Mace, what do you think about that, Jim Schwartz? Obviously, Packers
I hate Jim Schwartz, but as far as a defensive coordinator goes, I think he does a good job. But when he was the head coach for the Lions, okay.
Tell us more.
Well, he's just that guy. It's like he was almost like a Ben John. It's like he was kind of a jerk in handshakes. Like he was always talking, doing stuff. So yeah, but again, I think that's good that I didn't like him as the Lions head coach, because he was adding some fire to that, to the division a little bit. But as a DC, he's done a great job everywhere he's gone. So yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to a hire like that.
I could use a little bit of tough guy badass,
right?
in the like,
kind of a little ego,
yeah,
that's like, willing to back it up a
like
little bit.
if I could say my defensive coordinator, or the team I root for's defensive coordinator seems like a real what, like I'd be down for that. Like I think that's what you want. I think people would say that about Bob Saleh, and he's gotten head coaching jobs, right? I think people would say that about other people in the league that have gone from defensive head coach or defensive minded players into head coaches. Like, isn't Harbaugh like, Jim Harbaugh, like a defensive minded guy, right? Like, I mean, he actually was quarterback, right? No, I'm messing it up.
But
John Harbaugh was.
John was defense. Jim's
His
offense.
special
But
teams.
Jim's also hard nosed. Like, he's a hardcore type of guy.
He's gonna demand excellence. Yeah, I think we need to get away from the narrative up in Green Bay. Like, man, those, like, the coach is just a lot of good guys. It's like a lot of, they're just, they're good guys up there. Like, I think you need somebody that's just going to ruffle some feathers and just kind of get some people a little uncomfortable. I don't think that would be a bad thing to bring into the fold there in Green Bay and kind of shake it up a little bit.
Get someone with like a little bit of Micah mentality, where he just does not want to be your friend on the football field, and then bring him in. Yeah, I'm down for that. Give me Jim Schwartz.
Dare you to beat me to the ball.
Right? Now that Mason Crosby hates Jim Schwartz as a person, like I'm all in on him being
not as a person.
Okay.
I don't know him as a person.
Okay.
Like in any way like that. As an opposing head coach, I was not a fan of him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, bring him in. Let's do it.
Bring him in.
This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. So, Mason, as this is going on, Hafley gets the job, and you're a player on the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, you're not that far removed from being in this position. If you're a player on the Packers, like, do you want to see movement? Do you want to see names? Do you like, your job is to go and play defense? Like, let's say you are. I'm trying not to name like a star, but what's the linebacker's name? Not the third guy. McDuffie. You're Isaiah McDuffie. You're building your career. You're making an impact. You're a good player. Like, are you like, I want to know, or are you kind of, the season just ended, I'm still in Cancun for a couple of weeks?
You're doing your thing, but yeah, you want to know. You want to know who's going to be the new guy, and like again, the new DC's job is to reach out to those guys as well. Like, he's going to need to reach out to everybody on that defense, and then start watching that film and then evaluating and being like, hey, this is what I hope for you next year. That's how I would do it. Here's the interesting thing too. Who on that defense, like the defensive coaching staff, were any of those guys Hafley's guys?
Well,
or were those just coaches that the Packers kind of they just pieced together after they brought Hafley in as the DC?
Was it his choice to hire Covington? Because Covington was new, right? Defensive line coach, and quite frankly, he ain't getting the job after what happened last year. So,
yeah, I don't know. So that's interesting too. It's like, if you hire a new, like, whoever the new DC, what kind of freedom are they going to be like give them to bring in a staff? Yeah. I think it depends on the level. If you bring in an Al Harris, maybe he has a couple names, and then you kind of help him build out a staff. If you bring in, Al Harris has been around though. Yeah. But if you bring in, like, say, somebody like Schwartz or whatever, like, he probably has a whole defensive staff that he'd want to at least get a majority of those guys in there. So that piece is going to be interesting, and that's the part where, as a player, you're like, please figure this out quick, because like, we're going to potentially have new position coaches. And those relationships need to start forming right now.
Absolutely.
Through conversations.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Mason Crosby's here. Tommy Wirtz is here. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. More defensive coordinator conversation, more Jeff Hafley, more what is the new guy, whether it's Al Harris or Jim Schwartz, not Matt Eberflus. What does that person need to what type of intestinal fortitude do they need to get this Packers defense looking more like 2024's defense plus Micah Parsons, as opposed to 2025 where it was Micah Parsons and a bunch of dudes? Yeah. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. This is the Mason Crosby Show. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz. Mason Crosby's here. What's going on, Tommy? Are you going to have Andy Herman call Mama Tommy on Friday to wish her a happy birthday, or what?
I don't know if this is like a your mom joke from Brett.
No, it sounds like Andy Herman is the absolute best.
Yeah.
And how happy would Mommy Tommy be if Andy Herman randomly called her up on Friday and wished her a happy birthday? She'd be over the moon, bro.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll ask Camille. My mom's a big Camille fan. See if she'll give her a call on Friday.
How does your mom listen to the show so much more than my mom?
My parents move our ratings. They don't miss shows. They just don't miss shows.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Mama Tommy. We'll get you a nice birthday gift.
Absolutely.
From the Mason Crosby Show.
Yep. Brought to you by Verizon, the official 5G network of the open defensive coordinator position.
We'll give her a Verizon shirt.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. And a little tumbler.
I like that.
Nice.
Dude, my tumbler, like that's I gotta start bringing that in. It's almost too big though, like that. It's one of those huge ones.
Oh yeah. The kids use it all the time. So I see it. Yeah, Elizabeth, my 10-year-old's like walking around. The thing's like half her size. Like,
your children are walking endorsements now.
They are. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to. I just take pictures of them. All right, like look what we're doing.
Turn the logo. Turn the logo.
Andy, check this out. We've got Troy on the north side of Milwaukee on the Mason Crosby Show. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law Talking text line. Troy, you are next up on the Mason Crosby Show.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on, Troy?
What's up?
I got a couple candidates that I like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Number one would be Jenna Leonard because
Yep.
the simple fact, when I watched him at Wisconsin, I like the fact that he didn't blitz a lot. He used to do a lot of four-man rush, like stunts and moving people around. I love that. And then it just creates chaos for the offensive line. Number two candidate would be Al Harris. And the reason I say Al Harris, because the weakest part of the Packers, to me, is the cornerbacks. And I think he can upgrade our cornerbacks.
Love it.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Listen to Troy, like, buying into the Mason Crosby Show. Like,
that's right.
I mean, he's basically our fourth member.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, because we're all on the same page there, Mace.
Yeah, if you weren't listening before, those are the two names at the top of my list. Yeah. I'm like, if it's got to be one of those two, in my opinion, unless you just go and you spend a lot and get like one of these guys that have been established as a defensive coordinator, and it's like, all right, we want somebody that's been there, experienced. Whether it's like the Sean McDermott's, that's a
former
head coach and is coming back into a role like
Bill
that.
Belichick.
Well, right.
Stop.
Just stop. Jordan, special assistant. I have a name also that I want to just throw out there because of the experience in the NFL and wanted to hear your thoughts. Mike Zimmer, former Vikings head coach before Kevin O'Connell, who was there forever. I think it's another guy that you surround Matt LaFleur around all these dudes with a bunch of experience, different mindset. Dude lost his freaking eye and then coached a game.
Definitely an a-hole.
Yeah, perfect.
Like literally, like one of the worst, I think. So
he'll be 70 next season.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Definitely don't put him as a special teams coordinator. He literally ruined some of the best kickers in the history of the NFL.
Did he really?
And Dan Bailey and Blair Walsh. That was his name, right?
Yeah.
Blair Walsh. Yep.
Blair didn't sound right. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, it's a dumb name.
Because he missed a 19-yarder.
But yeah, like I mean, until those moments, like I mean, he was one of the highest percentage kickers. Dan Bailey, one of the highest percentage kickers, comes to Minnesota and just couldn't kick anymore. And it's I heard it was just he was brutal. I mean, Daniel Carlson, yeah. Couldn't get it done, then he goes and has success. So definitely don't want him as a special teams coach, maybe not even as a coach, because I don't know, he might just seek out kickers and try to destroy them.
Out of football last year after being the defensive coordinator for one season with the Cowboys, and Mason in 2023, he was an analyst and consultant with the Colorado Buffaloes.
No, I did not.
Yeah,
I don't know if I saw that.
Oh,
but it was kind of like, I think it was analyst consultant, so he was kind of like not exactly part of the program.
No,
but
I do. I think I remember
approved.
saying that.
Prime approved.
Prime approved.
Just saying. It's a name that excites me.
As the oldest guy here, am I going to be the only one who's ageist on this one? Like, do I think 70 is too old? I just think it's a little too old. Like, that's not the guy I want.
It's just so old.
If he's not going to be a coach, maybe he'll run for office. I don't know.
Well, that he can definitely do. As we know, you can be old and run for office now.
I got an interesting take on Hafley, for later. So
okay, all right.
Just as I was like looking at some stuff, but it's it's nothing important. So
yeah, we'll get to it
if we get to it.
Yeah. Camille Davis will join the show next. The Bucks did escape with a win yesterday. We can also ask her about Jeff Hafley. I mean, she does do podcasting with Packaday and with Andy.
For sure.
But Locked On Bucks, she's on and locked in on our Milwaukee Bucks, who are half a game out of the play-in game at this point. We'll see how that goes. He's telling me, well, they'll fit. I'll make a prediction on the other side. He's Tommy Wirtz. He's Mason Crosby. My name is Mitch Nelson, a.k.a. Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Welcome into hour number 2 of the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz, Mitch Nellis, and the aforementioned NoFo Brew Crew, Mason Crosby in the house. Brew Company, I should say.
Brew Company, yeah. Brew Crew works.
Brew Crew works, right? They're a crew there.
That's right. Yeah, let's get it done. Let's get a partnership going.
Let's do it.
Oh wait, no, they like they got enough beer companies over there.
No, we can always have a little sip of something.
Enough beer.
There's not enough beer.
Yeah.
That's true. What was I saying? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Never enough beer.
Tim wants to know on the YouTube channel, Tommy, are there any NFL film sounds of Mason that would give us all goosebumps? Like, we got to go through the archives.
Maybe, yeah.
Just like, obviously the Dallas game. I'm sure, but.
We also played, I feel like the only Mason media sound we ever played was his NFL Pick Me from Fantasy Football, Fantasy Factory, where he still, he never claimed if he did or did not hit the bell yet.
We know he did. We know he did.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was
on the camera.
Exactly. You can't prove I didn't. That was pre AI.
Exactly.
AI didn't even exist.
Thank you.
Yeah. Chris Cooley, when he punched through the drywall or whatever was.
I was there. That was amazing.
Are you saying Chris Cooley can't punch through drywall?
Remember Lawrence Maroney diving through the car? That one was nuts.
It was a little car. It was like a smart car.
Georgia running backs are built different. Okay.
Nick Chubb, Lawrence Maroney.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, Maroney was Minnesota. My bad, right?
Oh, okay.
He was Minnesota.
That's right.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Right.
And,
I was thinking
Lawrence
they had the Patriots had Robert Edwards who got hurt. He was their Georgia running back.
Got it.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. Man, hi, I'm Useless Knowledge. Have we met?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of useful knowledge, I'll see what I did there.
Nice.
Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. She's one of our best friends in the world. Camille Davis is in the house. What's up, Camille?
Oh, how is it going?
There we go.
We are good. How are you?
Yeah, you just had to sit there and listen to our little nonsense for a few moments.
I was just vibing. I was listening. I was like, okay, I'm learning something today. Like that's what you tune in for. You never know what you're gonna get.
That's right.
That's right.
Camille, how's everything going? Haven't talked to you in a little bit. Bucks got a win yesterday. Like, are we feeling optimistic about this team, or is this still kind of one of those they'll get lucky if they get in that play-in game type of deal?
The Bucks have had a few times throughout the season where I've been like, hey, you showed me something really good in this game. Let's see if you can stack it. And the stacking has not come. That's all I want at this point. Like, I hope that this is the spark that finally gets it going. But the Bucks haven't had an actual win streak all season. The Bucks have not won at least 3 games in a row all season. Like, I need to see them stack it. So, like, once I see that, then I'll start to have a little bit more buying on the potential of this team. But until they can show that consistency, like I just got to see it.
Yeah. And where do you think that comes from? Like who needs to be kind of called out that needs to take that step to lead this that way? Obviously Giannis, let's just put Giannis aside. Obviously he's the leader of this group, but what are the other pieces that need to kind of take that next step to get this team going in the right direction?
I think it's a full accountability from everybody. One thing I did like in the Atlanta game that we saw Doc Rivers do was change up the lineup, putting Kevin Porter Jr. on the bench, moving Kyle Kuzma to the starting lineup, and giving Pete Nance some minutes here just to see what he had. He provided a really big spark with the pace that he played with off of the bench for this team. I liked having Kyle Kuzma in the starting lineup because the problem with the Bucks so far this season is they've just been too small at times, right? They've been too small. AJ Green's been playing out of position. Gary Trent Jr. has been playing out of position, and it has just been causing some chaos, especially when it comes to crashing the glass. So going with the bigger player, I like that move and in theory, and the Bucks are working with what they have right now. So I also like Kevin Porter Jr. come off the bench and kind of having that freedom to have more of that green light and kind of just be a little bit more ISO at times, create his own shot, but still playing the concept of team ball. So I like that move, but it's on everyone. Like, this team knows what they need to do. They talk about it every time after a loss. You can play the same audio after every single game because it's the same thing. They know what happened. The ball stopped moving, too ISO heavy, stopped playing together. Point of attack defense started lacking, too many turnovers, didn't cry. It's always the same concept. So they know what they need to do. They just got to do it consistently. So it's on everyone on that team to wear that, from the coaching to the players to the GM.
Man, I love how you break this stuff down. Like,
Mace,
yeah,
she's the best. Like,
I'm like, I don't know if I have another question about
I feel so
him.
much smarter right now.
But I do want to ask about Giannis and his future and like, some of the stuff here as they lost some games, he was a little upset at home and, what are you feeling from Giannis? So do you feel like he is settling back in after injury and different things? Like, is he in a good place or is he kind of trying to search a little bit for like what this is going to look like?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's still searching to a degree because he's still on a minutes restriction at the moment, which is driving him crazy. Like the team does still not want him to really cross over that 30-minute mark per game. So he has to sit a lot of times where he wants to get out there and play. So that's part of it. But ultimately, I think Giannis has just been finding his footing coming back from the injury. He has been pointed about wanting the ball in his hands a bit more. And I also do think that move of Kevin Porter Jr. to the bench allows for that a little bit more. Like KPJ was still someone who was in the game in closing minutes. So like, it's not always about how you start. It's about how you finish. And he's going to still be very important to what the Bucks look to do because he's only one of a handful of players who can actually consistently drive, touch paint, kick out, or create for himself at the rim. And that's a skill set the Bucks need. But I think just being able to get the ball in Giannis's hands a bit more, let him create, let him to make the decisions and get shooters open is going to be really, really big for him. So all that to say, I still think he's finding the rhythm because this team's gone through the iteration of Giannis and Rollins with no Kevin Porter Jr., then no Giannis, but Kevin Porter Jr. and Rollins, and now all three of them trying to figure it out. So I think it's still growing pains there, but I think they're starting to understand what needs to be done consistently. It's just on them to do it.
For sure.
Camille Davis joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. I want to ask about Miles Turner because I know that the experiment continues to fail.
Yeah.
And he's again he'll have some good games. He'll have some even yesterday, like in the first quarter, he had he hit a 3 and he had 5 rebounds in the first quarter, and it's like wow, he's being active. But I know that in the rankings of block per minute, he's gone from like he was 3rd a couple weeks ago. He's down to 10th in the league. Like, what do they need to still figure out to get him comfortable, both offensively and defensively, on this team?
That's a great question. I think Miles is somebody whose game has been affected the most with Giannis in and out of the lineup. When Miles gets to play next to Giannis, he does look better. Like it makes a lot more sense when you see the two of them play together. Now, one might question like, well, hey, isn't part of the benefit of having a Miles Turner is that if Giannis isn't there, you can count on him to pull a little bit more weight. And I think that's a fair critique to have of his game. And there are certain times within the game where it's like, just need a little bit more. And Miles in all of his pressers seems to be the first one to hold himself accountable for that of, I need to play better, more consistently. I know what I'm here to do. I got to rebound. I got to make sure I'm playing defense. I have to do that at a consistent level. But I also think that at times the coaching staff hasn't utilized him to his full potential, especially offensively. Like before the season started, we heard a lot about his ability to play make from the elbows and get touches in the elbows and operate out of that area. And you haven't really seen a lot of that from him. Like to start the season, you heard Doc saying he's a popper and not really letting him roll, but he's also effective on the roll. He has been doing that more frequently as the season has gone on, but it's a part of his game that I feel like was nerfed out a little bit too much corner sitting at times for Miles Turner. So I think there are still more ways to continue to get him utilized in the offense a bit more. And defensively, when it comes to just the rebounding and being there in that presence, he has to also just play a little bit better there. But I do think it looks better overall when he's sharing the court with Giannis. The two of them do play well together.
I like that. What's the fan engagement? Like I haven't been to a game yet this year. Like what is everybody, feeling there in Fiserv Forum? Like is the energy still high? I mean, is there still hope for this team to make a little run here at the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, the reality of it is Milwaukee keeps it real. Like when they were booing the Bucks a couple of days ago, last week, time is a slow circle at this point. But when they were getting booed at Fiserv, like I was like, I get it. Like you're paying your money to come see a product. All you really ask for in Milwaukee, like at least give us the effort. Like at least give us the effort. If you give us that and we lose, we're gonna be upset that we caught an L, but we can take that. But like no effort poor execution consistently, like fans aren't going to stand for that. And that was just like a blip in the frustration, because outside of that, it's been a Bucks team that, while the energy has been inconsistent at times, it's been better than what you saw during that Wolves game when they were getting booed at home. So I think there's still a sense of hope too, because the Bucks are 11th, but they're only a few games still out of being out of the play-in completely. Like, they could jump to 6 in a few games, but they haven't shown us the ability to put together a win streak all season. So it's hard to also have the belief that they can do it, but you see the numbers and you're like, you're still close. You have the talent. Like, if you can just figure this out, there's a pathway forward. So I think the vibes are still like, we know this team can do it, but they got to stop playing around.
What did you think of Giannis's reaction to that, to the booing? And like, you know, we have the receipts from 2 years ago when he said, "Oh, I would have booed too." And then he took it super personal. Like, in a way that was honestly was like very off-putting and very, I want to say, like, not who Giannis has been previously in Milwaukee. You know, made a lot of Giannis fans kind of question where his mindset and where his priorities are.
I just think that losing is frustrating. A couple years ago, when the Bucks got booed during that Jazz game, the Bucks still had a winning record. They were just going through a little slump at the time. Like, they weren't a lottery team looking up. Like, they were still firmly in a playoff race at the time. They were just playing bad basketball. And he knew, for championship aspirations, it has to be better. A few years ago, I was like, I get it. I'd boo too, because I know where we have to be. This year, you're a lottery team right now. It's frustrating. You've been injured. It's just a lot of different frustration. So the boos can feel a little bit different, you know, depending on where you are in the standings. That's how I took his comment. So I didn't really take too much offense to it. It was kind of like, I get it. It's frustrating to be losing right now, but like, understand the boos weren't directed at you. They weren't directed at any particular player. It's just it was a frustration. Like, the fans didn't have anything to cheer for, and they want something to cheer for. Like, just give the fans something to cheer for, and they're going to be here for you. Like, I fully expect Fiserv to be packed Wednesday night for this game against the Thunder. Like, I think
late tip. I got tickets, Camille, to this one. That's a late 8:30, man. That's past my bedtime to start the game.
Come on, old man. Let's go.
I'll be there. But I was surprised that Giannis didn't get that he didn't understand that the team was being booed, the effort was being booed, that it wasn't directed at him. He made it sound very personal. Like, he thought people were booing him specifically for missing those 2 free throws at the end of the half, when that wasn't the case at all. And I'm just like shocked. He was I thought he was smarter than that.
It could also just be fuel. Like, just that's how he's taken the season. He's been saying how this season he's going in with the villain route. It could just be how he is wired this season, going into it with the Bane 3-point celebration and all of the things like that. Like, that could be part of it too, of like, I don't care where it's coming from. I'm going to use this to motivate me because we're not where we want to be, so on and so forth. We know how a lot of times athletes can put those things on their shoulders to get just that little extra motivation at times.
I love it. Yeah. Us against the world type of mentality.
Yeah.
It can be a motivator for sure in a short time. But it's one of those where it can get you over like a hump, and then you got to build off of that. Right. I do want to, you said some words that I love, energy and effort. And so I do want to pivot to some of the things we've been talking about on the Packers side of things. I know obviously you get on Pack a Day and you dive into that as well. What do you think? Jeff Hafley going to Miami.
Yeah.
We've been talking about who's going to replace him, who we don't want to replace him. What's your take? What's your thought on who could be potential defensive coordinators coming in here for this Packers team?
Woo, Jeff Hafley is going to be a tough one to replace. That's a real tough one. He's like the first real coach to come off the LaFleur coaching tree at this moment, where it's like that's a head coach coming straight off a coordinator job here in Green Bay. So it's going to be tough to fill. There have been a lot of different names thrown out, and I'm more so looking for a type. As long as they fit this personality type, this type of coach, then I am going to be here for it. And it's the adjuster. It is somebody who might have an idea in their mind of what they want to do, but they're not going to force it if they don't have the pieces. It is somebody who can be strategic in a way with the defense, especially when you have a Micah Parsons, where you can get pretty creative for whatever the game plan might call for. So as long as the coach can do those things, I don't really care what the package they come in looks like.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we were talking, we want somebody that maybe isn't a nice guy, is kind of a little bit of a, fire starter and is going to, kind of ruffle some feathers a little bit and get an edge back, right? An edge to this defense that is, just going to be tough to deal with. The coach that, kind of throws stuff out there that makes, people a little uncomfortable at times. I know Green Bay, that's not always their way, but it might not be a bad time, especially with how these last couple of years have ended, especially this year, to have a piece like that on your staff that will take some of that and deflect some of those things from the players and let them just kind of do their work and do their job.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've been throwing out names like Al Harris, Jim Leonard. I'm a big proponent for Al Harris and like getting some former players back in that building to just kind of bring that legacy piece back into the organization. Do you like any of that? Any of those names?
All season watching Al Harris in Chicago has been like, man, this just don't even feel right. Like
it doesn't feel right. Get him back home. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But I mean, he has flashed a lot. Like that is somebody who I'd be on board with as well, especially too, because he gives a new energy. Like it's not a retread in a way too, which I think that energy is important to continue to go forward, where you're trying to continue to innovate on that side of the ball and not necessarily lean on principles all the time.
Yeah, I totally agree. Hey, y'all got anything else?
Did you want Matt LaFleur fired?
Oh, I like that.
Like, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Yeah. Like, if they're going to be all quiet about this, Camille, and then like, oh no, let's throw an extension at him in the middle of an awesome football game.
Yeah.
What did you think about how the Green Bay Packers handled the head coaching situation at the end of the year?
I was on board of bringing Matt LaFleur back, but I was more so on the idea of the prove it deal. Like I wanted it to be something short of like, we know we don't want a lame duck coach here. Fine. But we're going to tie everybody's contract for like another 2-3 years. And we're going to see what happens at that time going forward. But I understood why you'd want to let them go. At the same time, the record against playoff teams over the last few years has been brought up. The way they have lost games has been a very consistent manner under LaFleur so far. So like, I can get the reasons behind why, but I was like, I think the good still outweigh the bads for him. Like it's very difficult to find a good head coach and the things that he can do well, like his offensive scheme and Jordan Love, like it's grown together. Like it works. That part of the game works. His play calling, while at times can be questioned, more than not, like it's innovative. You like where he's going with it. So he's somewhere I'm like, he has to improve who's around him. I think that's of the utmost important. The assistant coaches have to be top tier. Like, I think watching what Hafley did with that defense is proof of that, of like, if you bring the right people into this building, you can make some magic happen. You're going to need that going forward. So I'm fine with it. It wasn't one of those things where I would have been upset either way, but I did lean more of like, just keep him on a short-term deal, see if he can prove something. If not, then let him go.
Yeah, and now same question, different person, Rich Bisaccia. Continue.
I think his time is up. I think but the thing is, I don't know if a new coach is going to fix the problem with special teams. Like it's been bad for decades now.
The problem. Yeah.
So I don't know if, unless they're going to make some organizational changes to how they staff that unit and the priority of that unit.
Please.
Then
how would you feel?
I'm just glad I wasn't for a long time. It's like I thought I was the problem. I'm like, I keep staying. We had 7 coaches. I had all these these moving pieces, but it is a cultural thing. Like they just don't emphasize special teams as a priority. Like the X's and O's, the players are like the pieces on those teams. So until they address that, like. You can't throw any coach into that space and expect instant success.
How would you feel if it was a former kicker that would take over as a special
what do you think of that?
Yeah,
we've been throwing my name in the ring. Do you think I could handle the job up there?
Do you have the sway to be able to get them to make those organizational changes? Can you be like, listen, I know I have the personal played through data, the experience. These guys know me well enough now that like I would not go into that room and just be like, whatever y'all want to do, right? Yeah. Like I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna be like, hey, like I don't care. You can say I'm done after a week, but I'm gonna go fight for what I think is the right move to go. What right direction to go.
because I think that's missing sometimes. It's like I think Rich Bisaccia, though, fought for that. He has fought tooth and nail to try to get it done, and they've just it just is a pivot, and it's pretty frustrating at times.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know what the answer is there, but who knows? If they want to give me a call and we'll see what happens. I'm available. I'm just hanging out, doing this radio thing for a little while.
I mean, there were calls for you to see if you still had the leg, like if you'd be willing to still kick at this point.
I know.
As Mason has said many times, like he hears the fans. He hears the people. Who he doesn't hear from? The organization. The organization has to get off their asses and actually make something happen.
Just giving numbers out to backup quarterbacks now come on. Just like
I stink at retirement anyway, so might as well just continue to fill my plate.
Yeah, Molly's gonna hate us if you get a phone
she does. She's listening right now. She's
us.
like, what's going on right now?
I'm sorry, Molly. No offense.
Perfect. All right. Well, Camille, thank you so much as always for jumping on. We know we can get, insight from you found nowhere else. Locked On Bucks is the podcast and all the other podcasting and work you're doing as well. Any pro wrestling? Have you been doing pro wrestling stuff?
Yeah, on Technical File. So that's a weekly show that I have. It's a longer form, it's about an hour and a half. Every night we record it live on Tuesdays. We do NFL, NBA, and WWE every single week.
Did you watch Finn? Awesome. Did you see Finn Balor?
Yes, the old music.
Man, how much do you love real Finn Balor?
It's amazing.
He's so like, and it really, yeah. All right, that's enough of that.
That's enough.
All right, nice.
All right,
nice.
Camille, thank you so much for jumping on today.
Appreciate you, Camille.
No problem, guys. Have a good one.
You bet. Follow her on Twitter at Camille Monet. Camille Davis joins us on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. You guys don't even know who Finn Balor is, but we will talk about the national champion Indiana Hoosiers when we come back. Did I say that out loud?
That's so weird.
So crazy.
So weird.
So weird.
So weird. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon.
Is this kind of a perfect bump?
Where's he from?
Was there only a boy?
What? Will Ferrell's so good. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. Oh, we got to play that at some point. That Will Ferrell skit. Macy, okay there?
Did you see the Nikolai Law fan talking text line?
No.
Molly has joined the conversation.
Let's go.
I didn't know she knew how to do that.
Wait, do I need to teach you how to be a softball coach? Because I've been coaching softball for a long time.
She hates me.
Mason is a retirement all-star and also currently committed as a basketball coach to a team of 8-year-olds who have plenty of energy and effort. And I just signed him up as a softball coach. Oh, thanks. So sorry, everybody. His coaching card is currently full. Also need him to move some furniture after the show. I didn't read that part. I didn't see that part.
No, that part's easy. You'll be done in like 12 seconds. Dude, I built a box spring yesterday.
Yeah, I moved a lot of furniture yesterday.
Yeah.
I like a bunch of beds.
When do the men show up with the well, I know that you guys are doing the sledgehammering, but when do the men show up with the real like power machines and all that?
When do the men show up?
Yeah.
When do the real men get there to do the job?
You're giving jobs Nolan can even do now out there, man.
I know, seriously.
All right, Molly, I'll stop pushing it on air. I'll just continue. I'll
stop pushing it on there. I like this comment, 262. No offense to Mason, but there's a lot more to special teams than kicking. Oh, thanks. Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Are you special team splaining to Mason Crosby? Yeah. Is that what's happening right now?
262. Please, please explain to me what else there is that goes into into specialty. I thought it was just kicking a ball.
262. Do you have a forced fumble on Cordero Patterson?
Yeah, do you?
Is that you?
Yeah,
is that you?
exactly.
262. Yeah.
Patrick Graham. Who's Patrick Graham?
Patrick Graham, is he?
He's the
DC for the Raiders.
Yeah, yes, okay. That's right. I think. Yeah.
Nope. Brett wants to know. Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Okay, because he was on Big Mike's staff. Was he?
Yeah, I like Patrick Graham.
Okay.
No, I think Patrick Graham is. It would be a good fit. I think he's down the list though.
Okay.
If you're looking at kind of some of these names, like I feel like they have to make a decision, right? Like, are they going with kind of a fresh new coordinator, somebody that hasn't been in that position to kind of light a fire and get a spark, or are they going to look at someone that's kind of been proven in that spot? They kind of know what they're about, what they can bring to the table, and say, all right, we want that implemented here. Because that's the crossroads you're at right now, right? Yeah. Hafley was in a sense that coming in as the DC after being a head coach there at Boston College. I told you I had a little take on Hafley's kind of trajectory here.
Yeah.
So Hafley is, obviously, he's a good coach, but he's also, I think, he knows the business of this as well. So like head coach at Boston College gets them a winning record, goes and they won their bowl game, right? And then leaves to be a DC.
Yeah.
You would almost think most guys you'd almost stay in that spot, but I feel like he's had this plan in his head this whole time. It's like, I got the head coach job. I'm going to build Boston College up. And then you have to be a good coach to do that. He gets them to a point, takes the DC job at the Packers, has a great first year, had Micah Parsons, had a middling, second year, but was top of list for a lot of teams looking for a head coach, takes the head coaching job that he gets offered. It's like he has built himself into this spot. And it's like, if anything, I applaud him. We'll see what kind of actual, a head coach and what kind of coach he is now that it's his whole show. But I feel like he's done such a good job of just the business of sports, saying and doing the right things, being the right type of person in each spot that he's been in. So that's part of the job. And now I think we'll see exactly what kind of coach Hafley is taking over the Miami Dolphins and kind of being in that that fire show at all times, in the limelight.
Mitch, you're from Boston, right?
True story.
How long until we can get a moment from Boston College like this?
He's going to take off and run. Mendoza weaves his way first and goal, diving toward the end zone.
That was a
touchdown. That was unbelievable. Steps up, delivers downfield, intercepted. Jamari Sharp makes the pick that will clinch Indiana's first national championship.
So, Tommy, I love where you went there. My transition was going to be, speaking of Miami.
Okay. I was thinking of, there was I was going to do Raiders with Mendoza too. There's a lot. There was a lot there.
There's a lot of segues we could have gone to. That fourth down run.
That was epic.
May be one of the greatest runs in the history of college football by a quarterback or by anybody. National championship game, get them the lead, go for it on fourth down. The spin, the dive. I mean, Mason, that's football.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. Whenever he took that shot and kind of reset his feet and then like dove in and take the hit. I mean, selling out for your team.
Yep.
I mean, that's what you hope for from your star quarterback to lead you in that moment. And then, like you got to talk about like Becker. Some of those that catch on the sideline, then the other catch. I mean, like it was just like he just threw it up, and it's like he just adjusted back shoulder.
Did you see my text on that?
The Jordy,
So I had a friend specifically want me to ask you. He said those catches look like Jordy. Is there any
same type of thing where it's like Mendoza, like when he needed a play, it was like he went to him and. Just to think of that guy's rise, right? I think their first 5 games this year, and he was like one of the only guys that stuck around from the previous era, right?
Apparently, Signetti told all the rest of the wide
receiver room,
get
out
of here,
yeah.
And they kept him, Decker,
and he wasn't really involved in the early part of this season, and then just developed into that go-to guy in clutch time. So yeah, those back shoulder passes, throwing it up, and just having him adjust to the ball. That catch that he had, I mean, just he had 3 fingers on it and bring it in. And that, to me, that's just that's something else, right? It's not, sure, it's athleticism. It's, it's all the things you train and work on, but it's just a will that there is nothing that is going to stop me from holding on to this ball. And I will do it at all costs. And yeah, so I think Indiana, honestly, Miami played a fine game.
It was a great game.
Yeah,
a lot better than I thought they, actually would.
Agreed.
But Indiana, in the end, they just willed it to happen, right? You just felt like a difference in that team to will themselves to a victory.
I don't know if we have seen a tougher national championship in recent memory. The toughness in that game
were good.
I mean, when Mendoza took that shot at the beginning of the game, which, I mean, what is targeting if that's
Signetti said it at halftime. Do you hear him? He was like, well, there were about 3 hits on my quarterback that should have been thrown, should have been flagged.
It was unbelievable. And did you see his arms after the game, just beat to hell of the bruises all up and down? I mean, that was unbelievable. And the offensive versus defensive line battle the entire game. Miami's pass rush is unreal, and it's almost a shame that that's not going to go down in history because of how dominant those guys are going to be at the next level too. But this Indiana team, I mean, 0 4-stars and up on the roster. It is the ultimate David in the Goliath story, even though they became the powerhouse during this season. I mean, it's the team that had the lowest winning percentage in college football history before Curt Signetti got there.
Yeah,
and he goes to the playoff and then wins the national championship. Oh, and by the way, he has a top 5 transfer portal quarterback just waiting for him next year as well, too. Indiana's not going anywhere either.
Right, which is crazy.
Well, isn't that crazy? I didn't realize Mendoza's brother was on the roster, and he just entered the transfer portal.
Yeah, he was their main backup. He played okay when he came in, but they got such a good quarterback coming
Hoover.
in. Hoover's coming in.
Hoover. That's going to happen next year.
That's happening. Yep. Oh, man, nice.
That Mendoza's transferring Badgers. They didn't get the real Mendoza. Can they get his brother? Badgers?
I just saw something valuation for college football programs, and I think Wisconsin was 16th or something.
Oh, don't even say that. That just makes
they're
me
valued
angry.
at $930 million.
That's crazy.
So they should probably spend it. Colorado, number 20.
Oh,
$870 million, something like that, which I was surprised that they were top 20.
Well, they got fancy alumni like you.
Yeah. Prime. Got them all over there.
$20.
You and Joel Klatt.
I love how Miami just has all their alumni just chilling with them the entire. Look, I know it only plays at Miami, like anywhere else. But why do the Badgers not have like JJ Watt just coming chilling on the sideline during this? So like,
didn't he say they tried or whatever? Didn't we get?
He never got a
bite from that.
Yeah, no, he never had a call
Was
with
Uncle
them.
Luke there last night? Was Luther Campbell from Two Live Crew?
Oh, okay.
Remember, he was a big Miami guy.
There was in the beginning of the game, it's like all they're interviewing Signetti every time, and then they would cut and it's Ed Reed. Like he's like a part of or Clinton Portis was there, Ray Lewis was there, right? I thought that was that it's so weird that it happens only at Miami compared to the other places.
Yep.
But I also heard Sparky, who told me that Carson Beck has lost 7 football games in his career at a college quarterback, and 4 of them, the last pass of the game for him was an interception.
Oh wow,
That's kind of wild. That means you're in a close game.
Yeah,
I mean,
what do you think? Do you think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback?
Well, if he doesn't decide to stay in college for 7 more years, like he's already
not
done,
allowed to. He's done.
Well, Nowakowski, the tight end who scored on the fullback dive, I just realized, like, I went to high school with, like, he's got, like,
he went to Market
get a job.
in
Guys,
Milwaukee.
what are we doing? Yeah,
Get a job.
It's like the last wave of this going on right now.
Right.
Former
I
Badger.
got a question for you. I was watching from the games and all that, and Tom Brady was at the national championship.
Yeah.
But do y'all find it a little off-putting, a little odd that he's doing a Pizza Hut commercial? I mean, isn't dude making $35 million a year as an announcer, has $1 billion valuation for his Noble company? Like, I feel like doing a commercial like that. Like, how much do they have to be paying?
Well, and Mitch, I mean, when's the last time Tom Brady's eaten a piece of pizza that's not cauliflower crust? Like,
that's another good point.
Shot he's eating Pizza Hut.
Totally
0% chance.
You're right.
False advertising.
Yeah. If I would pay,
it should have. He just spikes it and they're like, I'm not eating this.
Yeah, exactly.
One of my favorite Nikki Glazer lines from one of her roasts is when Tom Brady had just lost like $30 million on crypto, and she's like. And she's up there and she's like, and Tom Brady's here and he just lost $30 million on crypto. And even Gronk knew it was fake. Oh, fake. Me know that fake money. Me Gronk. This is like, perfect. Like she's hilarious.
But Indiana football, shout out to him. That was awesome. It was a great game. It was a great run to Fernando Mendoza. As much of a cornball as he is a likable guy too on top of it. So
and a competitor. I mean, the fact that like if he was like kind of that, like his weird personality, quirky stuff, if he wasn't like the competitor he is, I think you'd be like, gosh, like this guy. But he literally, I mean, he took that team on his back and won that game.
How does he not have a LinkedIn sponsorship too? Like he talks about LinkedIn literally every day with this guy.
But it's great. Like the second that whistle blows, he's a different guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you got to respect that.
And I love that. Yeah.
Totally.
Be who you are, but like inside those lines, you got to go out there and be a dog. You got to be ready to get into battle. So, and he definitely does that. I mean, this has to be considered the biggest come up of any program in history, right?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you because you're the only one that's going to really truly appreciate or know this. Leicester City. Like, is that the only thing that kind of compares with it from the EPL back 10 years ago?
I love that you brought that up. It would be a comparable thing. Or my buddy Jay Demerit was on Watford, and they came up and got into the Premier League from 2 leagues down.
Okay.
Wrexham is, I guess, doing it now. Almost getting up to that. So yeah, it's kind of that. But honestly, this is even bigger. I mean, Indiana just like they were the worst team in the history of college football, right? I mean, never even like done anything, like the most losses, like just the bottom of the barrel. And in 2 years now have a national championship.
And I have one more question for both of you then, because now this brings up an argument of, can you do this anywhere because of what Indiana did? Do you think it's more you could do this anywhere if you invest in these resources, or Kurt Signetti was going to do this wherever he is?
Well, I also saw that they said that their team, the average age of their players
was like 47 years old.
It's like 23 or something. Like it's almost the same age as some of these like the Packers, like NFL teams. Like they are an old veteran team. So they didn't necessarily go get, the 5-star, 4-star recruits. They just said like, hey, we're going to find people and players that have played significant amount of ball. We're going to get them in here and we're going to like maximize that return on investment. And you got to kind of have a coach like Cignetti that just like is kind of stone cold and doing all that and like going out there and getting it done. So it takes a special place, but they kind of reinvented the wheel on what that looks like here with this national championship. And it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, Texas Tech kind of did that. They went and got, a whole defense from other places. So
I mean, Miami spent $4 million on a quarterback this year.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. Nice. But it's also, I think, I don't know what Indiana, what their resources financially are to pay these guys.
Mark Cuban.
Yeah, they just went and found, but they also found just like the right type of people.
Right. You still have to put the right roster together.
Yeah, a lot of JMU guys. A lot of JMU guys on the team, too, because of Cignetti. So shout out to JMU, too. This is this is a 8th year championship.
Exactly.
Well.
Yeah, I'm sure they're celebrating today. He's Mason Crosby. He's telling me words. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Inside Mason's head, it's Mason's Extra Points coming up here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis.
Tell me what's on your mind.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right. Thanks for joining the Mason Crosby Show here on this nice balmy Tuesday as I'm preparing for snowpocalypse here in Middle Tennessee. I don't know. They're predicting anywhere from light dusting to 18 inches of snow. So who knows what's going to happen.
Right.
I'll be at Costco probably like everyone else, just preparing for a week off of school, which I know Tommy will just love.
Yeah, I mean,
if all my kids are not in school all next week.
Build in weeks off of school every year, so it's not going to affect their schedule at all. It's just how it is.
I like this comment on the YouTube channel at Brett Roll said Patrick Graham got Eric Stokes to play well. Okay. So I don't know. I mean, is that like is that what he comes into interviews? And he's just like, hey, I don't have much to give you, but I did have Eric Stokes on my team, and I got him, to play well.
Catching strays at the end of the hour there, Eric Stokes.
I know.
Too. Billy Turner yesterday, Eric Stokes.
I love Billy.
Today.
I love Billy.
Who doesn't love Billy Turner?
Yeah. I didn't throw strays at
No,
Billy.
in the comments. The comments have thrown strays
like,
the last couple of days. Yeah.
Why we got to go with those guys?
No.
Yeah, so tomorrow, another busy day. We're getting ready for this renovation, just taking out beds. We're going to do some electrical work up in the –
What do you mean taking out beds? Where are people going to sleep?
Yeah. We're moving into mom and dad's room, master bedroom camp out.
How many of your girls are going to be in the same room?
All 4 of them.
No.
Yeah.
For reals?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We got mattresses on the floor. They're loving it.
For how long? Of course they're loving it.
It's not going to be too long, but
4 months.
We're getting new light fixtures and some things in the rooms, and they're getting new beds in their rooms, kind of updating everything for the long haul. So it's a facelift.
It's extreme makeover Crosby
edition.
It
is. It really is. Yeah. Oh my God. Got some good work going. So I got some good sponsors from our Crosby's crew coming in and helping out as well, and doing some fun work.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
nice. So football, like college football's over. We got.
I don't know what to do anymore.
Right, I know.
What are we going to do with life? Just wait till
we did.
Wait till the playoffs.
Year. I don't. I'm like looking at my watch. Like, what did we do last year? Like,
only Sunday games, and I mean. Obviously, lock into the Bucks. Wait for the Brewers to get this thing rolling.
Badgers
We're just kind of in a
Marquette's got to figure it out. Green Bay with a tough loss over the weekend after they hadn't lost in 2026. They did get blown out at home over the weekend. That wasn't great. But just like all the other things, and we're just like everybody else, we're just sitting on our couches, just like taking naps until the Packers decide to make an announcement.
Yeah, we're locking in though, and then we're just gonna see what happens if any coaching moves get turned around. I can't wait to see. At least that'll be a bump as soon as they decide who this next defensive coordinator will be. So.
Let me know cool things to do in McGuanago.
Yeah. Get those tires ready. You better get the chains on.
I love it. I was gonna say so. I think the cool things to do are the things you'll be doing, Tommy. Those are cool things to do everywhere.
Tommy's always cool.
Yeah, he is. He's Tommy Wirtz. He's Mason Crosby. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Later.
I was